Hello.
Aisha.
Resume recording. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly say that until now, I went through all the things in the book that have to do with things that we learned, but now I'm going to speak about what I really loved personally about it, which was service. The word to serve, she uses that a lot, and doula is a Greek word that means to serve. So, of course, the minute I see the word serve, I perk up. Um, I really hope that I, when somebody speaks about me at my funeral, that they're going to say, use that word, use the word Eved, Eved Hashem, Eved Dula, Eved, whatever. I'm happy to be not a servant of another person because we say that every morning, right? So Shalom Asani Aved. We don't want to be the servant of another person, but we do want to serve. I always say that with a caveat, like 1 second, but I do want to serve you, Hashem. Like there's a caveat in there. So I like anytime she brought the word service into her writing, which is so poignant and beautiful. And this is on page 199 if you want to look inside, but I'm going to skip around a little bit because I wanted to keep the quotes shorter. So if you see me skipping, don't worry about it. Just follow along as best as you can. So there she writes, all who serve, serve life. What we serve is something worthy of our attention, of the commitment of our time and our lives. Service is not about fixing life, outwitting life, manipulating life, controlling life, or struggling to gain mastery over life. When we serve, we discover that life is holy. Service is closer to generosity than it is to duty. It connects us to one another and to life itself. When we experience our connectedness, serving others becomes the natural and joyful thing to do. Over the long run, fixing and helping are draining, but service is renewing. When you serve, your work itself will sustain you, renew you, and bless you, often over many years. Beautiful, no? Like everything she writes.
Mhm.
And then on page 327, my grandfather explained to me when I was very small, all those little pieces with her and her grandfather, and he calls her Neshamala, and I just melt into like a puddle. I just love that. My grandfather explained to me when I was very small, we need to remember to bless the life around us and within us, Neshamala, he would tell me. When we bless others, we feed the goodness in them and in ourselves. When we bless life, we restore the world. My grandfather taught me that we bless life because it is holy and because we are holy as well. It often seems that the problems in the world are large and overwhelming, and that there are limits to what we can accomplish as a single person or even a single group. Service is the work of the soul. We might view moments of genuine service as a movement toward the soul, a return to what is most genuine and real in each of us. Perhaps our greatest service is simply to find ways to strengthen and live closer to our goodness. This is far from easy. It requires an everyday attention, an awareness of all that diminishes us, distracts us, and causes us to forget who we are. But every act of service bears witness to the possibility of freedom for us all. And every time anyone becomes more transparent to the light in them, they will restore the light in the world.
Mhm.
Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah.
I would love to give anyone who would like to share a chance to tell me what quotes really spoke to them and what they loved about this
You
book.
know, I underlined exactly that on
Oh, look at that!
27 at 328. I did a crash reading this morning for a few hours because I didn't finish the book. But that's exactly what I say. And the light of them, it reminds me of the lady in that conference, and she lit the candle finally, and one candle was lighting the other when the lady took the candle, and that's what promotes the thing in the world.
Yes, because it doesn't take away the light from the candle, right? She
Right.
took from one candle to the next candle, And she didn't have to light another match, right?
Right. And I was also touched, I read it today, like that when she started to be a doctor in Bellevue Hospital, and she didn't know how to be a phlebotomist. She had to go around doing the rounds, taking blood, and all of a sudden, this scary big guy, probably black
With tattoos, with
with
tattoos.
tattoos, started to help her and show her how to do it and how to get the blood out of veins, which seemed like inconspicuous and small, not the predominant veins. And he really taught her. Like every day, he followed her around and taught her. And then a few months later, when she was again did the rounds in Bellevue, she found out that he died of like an overdose. He was in heroin or
He
something. That
was a drug
a
addict,
drug
so he
addict, and
really
that's
knew
how
how to
he
do
knew
the work.
how to get the veins and everything, and he taught it to her. So we can't be judgmental of anyone, because
Look
even
how he helped her.
most of us,
Yes,
they're good. So I just want
that's a very good point. Yes, she does
like,
teach that
like he
you
was
have
an
to,
addict, but addicts have good parts too, and we can't
right.
judge anyone. And he
Yes,
really
Mimi,
added to the world. He helped her.
he did. Thank you, Barbara. That's great. Mimi, what did you read that
Barbara,
you wrote?
that was very touching, the story about the drug addict. That was. So I'll tell you
Do
what
you
caught my.
remember, Mimi, do you remember the candle story?
Yes, yes, yes. And with the sand tray, right? The sand tray and the candles. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be, remind me, Barbara, what happened with the candle? She lit somebody. She apologized
No,
for
she didn't
lighting.
want to divulge of herself a secret, because people like to, hear like, oh, everything's perfect, especially doctors, and she didn't want to divulge of herself. And somehow she brought out the candle, and I don't know what the candle really signified in her, but she had that candle and finally lit it. And that was her deep secret. Maybe I didn't catch the exact
Yes,
point.
but what the point was, I think, at the end was
Right.
that somebody lit the candle and then apologized to her because she burst out crying, and I'm so sorry that I lit the candle from your candle. I should have taken a match. And she said, no, thank you so much. And she thanked her for using her candle to light the other candle. It's like
That's
she was able
service.
to
It was
spread, yes,
to
same
spread it.
same
Yeah.
message. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Mimi.
Okay,
Yes, so
okay.
talk to
So
me.
on page 188,
Okay.
um, she says, like many Orthodox. So in general, I think the book is, it's interesting. The whole Jewish thing for me was a little unsettling. But okay, but in general, it had many beautiful parts. So she talks, like many Orthodox Jews, my grandfather never made an appointment or spoke of any event in the future without any the words "God willing." And then she says, life requires us to hold things loosely, not to
Yes.
be attached to a particular outcome, because we know as Orthodox Jews that Hashem is in charge of outcomes, not us. Okay, the lunch appointment, the pot roast, the graduation, or the marriage, all are in God's hands. To be alive was to wait for the will of Hashem to reveal himself. And one waited with curiosity, a sense of adventure, much in the way you read a detective story at bedtime, struggling to stay awake in order to discover how things will turn out. And in the fulfillment of every promise or plan rests Hashem's approval. That then God's hand is hidden in everything that happens. Um,
Yeah, and the end that she makes so many things in advance, right? She makes her plans in advance in her calendar because she's a very busy woman, and they're like 3 years in advance. She's putting things in her calendar and she's thinking, oh, like I'm being very big shotty about this. Like this is ridiculous. Like I could really walk away with my head with my nose in the air after seeing my calendar filling up 3 years in advance. And then she says, but she keeps her grandfather's thing inside her and she writes it down, but she writes it loosely. I love she writes it loosely. And she says that in my heart I still hear my grandfather say, God willing.
yeah, yeah.
So beautiful. I love this. I see I also dog-eared it and I highlighted it. Yes, it's a beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful part. So yeah, it's hard to see when you're faced with the assimilation of what happens in her family and with her.
Right.
But really, we're in our own little box, and this is happening everywhere.
Right.
So
You're right. You're right.
it's hard to see, but it's also good that we come out of our box to see what's happening out there so that maybe we could smile at somebody and make a difference or have a partner in Torah, whatever we do, for outreach. I'm sure everyone's trying. Our beautiful Judith, Elena's friend, and my friend, who's Niftaris this year, who took the course. She was driven to bring women from Brazil, from South America, everywhere. I don't know, from where? No, from Madrid. I'm sorry.
Madrid.
I'm
Yeah.
such a New Yorker. From Madrid. She was bringing them all to Israel on the momentum trips, right? She was very busy with that, Elena,
Nice.
right?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And she was in a way like the woman who write the book, because she was very open, talking to every kind of people. And when I read this book, I think it's a book that anyone can read it. You can be, I think you can be Orthodox, you can be not Jewish. So it's really a book that anyone can learn from it.
Absolutely. She didn't write it for a Jewish audience. It's a national bestseller. She wrote it for everyone, and it's definitely touching to anyone who'd read it. I'm assuming. I don't know. There's so much hatred for us right now. Maybe it wouldn't work even today, but who knows? Unfortunately, it was. When was it written? Who knows? Anybody see that? See how many years ago?
The year 2000.
Published 2000.
Mhm.
Okay, 26 years ago. Like a million years ago. No?
Could I just add one thing?
Yes, please.
Yeah, she was only 7 years old when her grandfather was Nifter, and he made such an impact on her that he remembers it all his life. And
But she has to be
all her
brilliant.
life.
Right.
She has to be brilliant.
Yes.
For her to remember these seminal childhood memories so well. I mean, the words and the cadence and everything. She has to have like this unbelievable brain. And you see, because look at what she did with her life. People like that really are incredible because I don't know. Anyone have childhood memories here?
Yes, I do.
You do. So
My
you're brilliant too.
No, because that's what touched me, because we lived in one house with my grandmother.
Oh,
And
wow.
I mean, she lived many years afterwards, but as a little girl, I spent a lot of time with her. I used to bench licht with her. She brought me like a little candelabra with
Oh,
birthday candles. And
oh,
I learned a lot. She was a big Sadegas, and went through the war and survived. And it was really, it added a lot to my life. So I was, like, it really touched my neshama every time you said neshamala and all that.
oh, you really felt it. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. You felt it personally.
Yeah.
Okay, so Yafa and Henna.
Okay.
Go ahead, Henna, and then Yafa.
I'm gonna laugh.
Yafa, you're not sharing?
One of the
No,
things that
because sorry. Go
Well,
ahead.
It's okay.
Sorry.
That's what happens on a Zoom. We all talk on top of each other. Okay, so let's first do Henna, and then we'll see what Yafa has to say.
in page 331, she's talking about Father O'Shea, and he's remembering when he was a young priest and he went to see some woman who said, I think I'm dying tomorrow. He had no idea what to say. And he said he sat and held her hand, and then she fell asleep. And he was so embarrassed and humiliated that he never went back. But he said later on, he said, you ask God? He says, sometimes, yeah. And then sometimes he says here, Sometimes God says, step aside, Patrick, I'll do it myself. And I was thinking, sometimes we don't know what to say. But if you're there with someone, just in the space, I think hold their hand, not hold their hand, just being there, I think is comforting for people sometimes.
But do you remember the message he got from this woman?
She
He
had
got
all
a message from this woman saying, "Thank you for all the beautiful things you said to me. Thank
right.
you, thank you." He didn't say anything.
He didn't do
He
anything,
didn't
but
say anything.
he held her hand and he just was there. And she found it so comforting that her mind heard all the things that
Correct.
he didn't know how to say it.
Correct. Hashem was talking to her.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a great story because I keep on saying that to everyone who says to me, I can't do it yet. I need experience. I can't do it. When I was a birth doula and I went to my first birth doula job, it was a volunteer in a hospital. I did not know what I was doing, but I went into a room and I said, "Hi, I'm a doula." Nobody had ever heard of birth doulas yet. And I held her hand, and I didn't know yet about the hip squeeze, and I didn't know yet about the ice, and I didn't know about a lot of the things that would eventually become staples for me when I walked into a room. I did not know about those things yet, but I held her hand and I massaged her feet, and it was much more than she would have had if I hadn't been in the room, which is what I'm saying to all you guys who are afraid to go out there. Do it. You're going to learn on the job. And you're not making a person a guinea pig if you're going in because you are giving them more than they would have if you weren't there. You know, I went yesterday. There's a man in the neighborhood that I'm supporting, and I went to visit him. And I was in the car already. I had started the car, and then I was like, you know what? I want to bring him something that he could enjoy because he's not eating anymore. So I was like, I went to my backyard. I pulled a lilac off the lilac bush. I brought it to him, and through the tubes and everything, he just smelled the lilac. You know how happy I was. If I had done nothing else and I walked out right after that, and I didn't sit and have a conversation with him, that would have been enough. I brought him the scent of a lilac into his room, and I put it in a I was going to throw it out because they don't last very long once you take it off the tree. And he said, no, I want it. And I put it in water and I put it bedside. I didn't have to do anything else that day to make him and me feel amazing. Something more than if I hadn't shown up. And I felt I'm sitting and talking to him every day, and first of all, I give respite to his wife so she can have a break. But I think more importantly, he's not really here. He's sort of between here and there. Like he's seeing his father, and he's saying, "I see my father. I see my father. Do you see my father? Do you see my father?" And you know, the kids see this and they don't know what to do with this. And I'm saying, I can't see your father, but if you can, that's because he's waiting for you. And he loves that. He loves it when I'm being honest. Well, not everybody would love that, but he does. He loves when I'm talking about the fact that his parents are waiting for him. Yesterday, I just kept asking him about his parents, and he was talking about his parents and his in-laws. And I don't know if all of it is even true because he's really like, he's not like he kept saying, "Oh, my granddaughter's going to fall off the tree." He's pointing to the corner of the room. Like my granddaughter's going to fall out, like she's going to fall off the tree. Rifki, Rifki, Rifki. There was no granddaughter and there was no tree. But so I don't really know if any of the things or some of the things he was telling me were true, but it didn't matter. He felt so good that somebody was asking him. The family's not sitting there talking to him about what yeshiva he went to and you know, tell me about your parents. So again, anyone could do this. They interviewed me yesterday, and from the OU something. What was it? Mimi, I told you the OU.
Senior division?
No, that was a different time.
All right.
This was yesterday. They have a publication. Anybody know what it's called?
The action.
Yes, that's the one. So when she asked me, like, I'm sure you have an opinion, she said to me, about who should be taking this course and who shouldn't be taking this course. And I said, actually, everyone should be taking this course because anyone could do this work. If you have a compassionate bone in your body, you can do this work. I'm not saying it's not good to have a training, but anybody could do it. And I'm going to the core conference next week, Vital Voices. And when I told Alyssa, I don't think I should be on your panel. You have all these people with letters after their names, and who am I? And just take your people that are professionals and use them on your panels. And then Sandy, who's the one who asked me to do this course to begin with, yelled at me and she said, no, there are lay people out there who want to do this work. You have to represent them. I'm like, okay. So I wrote back to Alyssa, okay, I'll represent the lay people. I'm back in. So I'm going to be on a panel, just telling people what doulas do, and then what kind of crises arise at the end. And I'm going to do, in the evening, I'm going to do a visualization combined with a journaling. I'm going to do a half hour of visualization, a half hour of journaling, because it's the end of a really heavy day of talking about death and learning and listening. So I'm going to give everyone a chance to relax and write it all out. So that's going to be fun for me. And I'm really excited about the fact that they allow me to bring a table for display. And on this display table is not only the map of all you guys and where you're from, and your names on the around the map, but also there's like candles for Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam, and I'm giving out little candles with rose petals that everyone can take, and seed paper, which is like a paper shaped in the shape of a heart with seeds in it that you plant, and it says, something like, when there's an end, plant this, new beginnings, or something like that. So I have all these sayings, and please take one, please take one. So I'm bringing so many cool little giveaways for everyone to walk home with, and I'm really excited because it really expresses a lot of the like I'm giving out lip balm to saying to Hillel at the bedside, you need to take care of your lips, stuff like that. So it really gives an idea of what's happening with the doula without, just giving you information. It's giving you these little things to take home with you. The Peleiotes thing. Remember, I taught about the Hiratzon that you say, Lila Nishmas, your parents and your in-laws. So I'm giving that out, saying, take this one for yourself or share it with someone at a shiva. I'm so excited about this table. I've been working on it. I had my niece do graphics for it. It's going to be beautiful. Hello, Malka. How are you? Nice to see you here.
I'm sorry I'm late. I'm good. I am actually coming home from a conference, and so I didn't want to get on as fast as I could.
Which conference is this?
It was a local conference at our community center for all community professionals, all Jewish community professionals in Michigan.
Oh, very nice. I did the NMAC conference. I did the NMAC conference last week in Chicago because.
Oh, I heard it's wonderful.
Yes, it was wonderful. It's for advocates, medical advocates. What was very interesting was a bunch of men who were all kicked out of yeshiva, who decided, what are they going to do if they can't sit and learn? They're going to start organizations. And it seemed to be a common denominator. The men who got up to speak, that they were kicked out of yeshiva, they had to find something to do. They wanted to save Klal Yisrael, and they went out there and they opened Pua, and they opened Boni Olam, and they opened Hatzalah, and they opened all these organizations that are really out there to help. Were started by by a lot of the people there, Bikucholim from all over the country. And I went
Right.
because I'm doing a cohort for men next year, and I have
Oh,
to
wow.
I have to find men. I don't know where to find them, so that was a mixed conference. I figured I'm going to network with, and I actually got one rabbi who wants to sign up. So I'm excited.
I might have a couple of ideas of somebody for you as well.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
So, did you have something you wanted to tell us about the book, or something you liked?
So my father passed away 11 years ago, and one of his biggest things that he was very good at doing was complimenting and building people up. He was in education his whole life, and from little kids all the way to adults. And I was reading the beginning of the book, and when he kept talking about his neshama, little granddaughter, all I kept thinking is how much I miss that in my life. That someone that just appreciates you no matter what's going on in your life, that they look at you and they see only the good in you. And it really resonated so much with me that I think I read that section a couple of times because it was so beautiful the way she portrays her grandfather.
Unconditional love, unconditional love. We all need
Right.
that in our lives. Making me cry.
We really do. We all do. Yeah. And I learned that lesson. I try to emulate that from my father, is just to notice the good people do and make sure to comment on it because of that.
I don't know if you noticed, but
So,
she ends the book, the acknowledgments in the book. If you've made it all the way through the end and the acknowledgement.
I haven't made it all the way yet. Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah, I haven't
let me
gotten to
read
what
to
she
you.
say.
Let me read to you how she ends it. And last, a
Okay.
blessing to my beloved grandfather, Rabbi Meir Ziskin, who knew me before I knew myself and loved me enough to last a lifetime.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
And
that's what we need to do for everybody we know.
She lost him when she was 7, and he loved her enough to last a lifetime. So we, as people who have family and can and should learn from this grandfather, because he didn't know what was going to happen, and I'm not sure it went exactly the way he would have dreamed it to be, but he certainly gave her the strength within,
tools.
to do the tools to do everything that she did, and she lived a life of service.
For those
Yafa,
of us,
sorry, Yafa.
for those of us blessed with grandchildren, it really is an opportunity for such a special connection that's different from any other relationship. There's no other relationship like a grandparent and a grandchild, and it's can be sweet and beautiful and something for us to treasure.
Absolutely. I love spoiling them.
So true.
And great grandchildren, I have a few. It's not the same. It's the grandchildren that you really can you can teach and by example and love them to pieces. It's the most special relationship. I have 2 who live nearby. The rest of them are in Israel and in Boca and in Phoenix. So it's hard for me because I don't see them more than 2-3 times a year. But the ones who live nearby, I see every week. And one of them has Down syndrome, my grandson, Yaakov. And Leah, his sister, who's 2 years older, was especially gifted from day one. Like I could see that she was just waiting to speak because she needed to say things, and then when she started speaking, she hasn't stopped. And when he was born, I was like, oh, now I get Leah. Now I understand. When Yaakov was born, I was like, oh, I get why Hashem sent Leah to my children, because he has to be the sibling. She has to be the sibling to this boy, and it's true because he's 3 now and she's turning 5, and they are in love with each other. It is incredible to watch, and so for for me, that relationship is the one where when I walk in the door, they both come running to jump into my arms, you know. You can't get enough of that. That's, you know, that's for me the love that I don't have for my parents anymore. You know, I get it like back from my grandchildren.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. Yafa, I really wanted to hear something from you.
Well, I have to confess, I just got the book, so I just finished the foreword, so the Neshamale part really melted me. But both you and Mimi spoke about, you asked if we remember things from our childhood, and I definitely do. And the whole subject, the whole topic of grandparents, because I had none, and because I was born in a DP camp, and most of the children of the people who it was a community there, none of them had grandparents. I didn't know almost what it was. And when we arrived in Israel, and I was just under 2, and I started quietly, slowly noticing grandparents. And I'll never forget, I was about 6 or 7 years old when a classmate took me, a Yemenite girl, took me home, and there was an old lady sitting and mending, I think. I can't even remember exactly what. And she said, "This is my grandmother." I'll never forget the feeling. I was flabbergasted. You have a grandmother? And I think I'm overdoing it because I don't think our kids and our grandkids appreciate, because they've grown up with it. I'm not saying they're taking it for granted,
But
but
they are. You can say
but
it.
the relationship, having grandparents, and I'm looking forward to reading the book. I hope you don't mind I came without having
I'm
read
more than happy just to see your face.
it.
But I think
Okay.
it's a good point for those of us who grew up without grandparents because we were children of Holocaust survivors. Um, the first time I went into an American friend's house and she showed me a photo album of her grandparents, her American grandparents, they were like with Lucy and Desi Arnaz and playing piano on a stage. And I was like, who are these people? She's like, my grandparents. Oh, grandparents? Who has grandparents? Who has photo albums of grandparents? I mean, are you kidding me? We had nothing. So
Sorry,
it's
honey, just one other thing.
yes.
You used the word slave for serving, and I think that's a wrong.
Did
Yeah,
I?
yes. Yes, you said slave, being Eved Hashem,
Serve,
not
serve.
slave, not slave, servant,
Hmm.
okay. But it gives
Sorry,
you freedom. It gives you freedom, not slavery.
I'm
No.
sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
Okay.
If I did, then I apologize. I meant to say servant, but
Okay.
I'm
No,
having
no, because
I'm having
it,
word retrieval issues at my age. I'm not joking. So I'm wondering how many more years I can even teach. We're gonna ask Kenna to speak first because she raised her hand before, and then Barbara, and then we're gonna
I just
close
wanted
up
to
shop.
share. I have grandchildren, Baruch Hashem, a bunch. My son-in-law's mother was Nefteres. I think it'll be 3 years this summer, and
Yeah.
they get close to this, close to Bobby, close to me. They're very. Everybody got to see everybody, but when she passed away, it was very sudden. I think some of my grandchildren realized that we come with an expiration date. And one of them and they started calling being better about calling on Friday. It's like hello, because they realize and they love you, but I think they don't always cop that nothing lasts forever.
I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
had no grandparents. My whole class, I think you count on one hand, people with grandparents. It was like miraculous. You have a grandmother? Whoa. It was something to be like envious of because it was
Yeah.
so unusual.
Yeah. I mean, I go to weddings now and I'm like, do they realize that grandparents aren't going to be at all their children's weddings? Do my kids even realize that I'm not going to be at all their children's weddings? I don't think so. And I have a chabur of women in their 40s that I teach, and I say it to them all the time before they make a simcha. Be aware. They're there. Take pictures. Don't take that one snapshot of them and be done. They aren't going to be at all your children's weddings if Mashiach doesn't come. So please be sure to pay attention. Barbara and
Okay, so I wanted to say I always cherished my grandparents. I had a set of grandparents from my mother's side and my grandmother from my father's side.
lucky
And
you.
yeah, and I didn't even realize until my husband said, "You have grandparents?" No one that I know has grandparents, like it was a whole new thing to him.
Yeah.
Because everyone was survivors and they lost their, they were in the war 6 years. My grandmother also,
Wow.
from Poland. But anyhow, I just want to bring a few points out with the book. I underlined page 85 about the time has grown beyond them. By the time I knew him, he had come to understand that the letter of the law was far less precious than its spirit, that the Spirit of God lived in the soul and not in the mind, and the heart of a little girl who spoke neither Yiddish nor Hebrew could speak to God directly in his own language. And then at the end, I underline, we are all here to grow in wisdom and learn how to love better. As we each do this in our own way, we slowly become a blessing to those around us and a light in the world. And so
Beautiful.
I underlined that. And also, I remember a story. I don't remember the exact story because I read it a long time ago. But like doctors, she was a psychiatrist for people that had cancer, or she also spoke to doctors. And I think there was one doctor, Jeff, who was going to give up, and they were very callous because they just had to be perfect, not caring about people, and he was almost giving up, and then something touched him. I don't remember what it was about. Maybe you could enlighten me, but the feeling, like bringing the feelings of doctors, that they really have feelings, and letting them notice it, because a lot of doctors, they just do their job and they take care of the oncology patients, but they don't really have that strong feeling. And I remember liking that part of the book, that like it brought it.
Yes, I remember the story. I don't remember what the point was, the Nakuda, but it was beautiful. Yes,
Yeah.
Hannah, you remember?
Was the surgeon who came. I had a marker on that page that I just fell out. Yeah, the doctor came. He was a surgeon, extremely successful, but he was depressed. He says every day the same sick people every day. She said, look for three things: something new, something nice. I forgot what the third thing was. And he called her up. I can't do this. Just try, keep trying, keep trying. Then she didn't hear from him after a few weeks, and he said it turned him around because he started to notice, yeah, this person was brave and they did this thing, and that person was whatever. And little by little, it changed his whole practice and his whole attitude, because by looking for good things, not just the same, the same old, but looking for other things that he hadn't paid attention to, that this person was brave and they went through the chemo yesterday, or this person was great and they didn't vomit, or whatever it was, all the little things that add up to, this is a pleasant point. This is a pleasant point. And once you put your head in that direction, everything else shifts with it.
So on
Yeah.
that, I want to say two things. That first of all, she ends that chapter by saying that the woman who sent her that doctor called her up with someone else a short while later, because she didn't know if the doctor had changed, and he had. And this woman said, I'm sending you somebody else.
Oh,
So
it's
maybe you could fix someone else who's broken that maybe you can fix, and she writes, yeah, maybe, but maybe they're also not broken.
Right.
She's always turning it around to positive. She's saying that he wasn't broken, and now this person that you're sending me is probably also not broken. And you just have to help them see things in a different way. And also, I wanted to tell you that I'm learning Talmud Devorah now, which is a beautiful book on a sefer on the ways of Hashem and how we can. It's very, very hard because they're asking us to do things that are not natural, but how we can emulate the ways of Hashem. And one of the things is to look at a person who's done something wrong to you and try to think of, this was today's lesson, try to think of either something they did nice for you, and if they've never done anything nice for you, try to think of some kind of nice trait that they may have, or a nice thing that they did for someone else, and judge them favorably, because that's what Hashem does for us. And when you do that for another person, it brings that kind of it brings it down from Hashem to us. Like Hashem will look at us favorably like that if we look at other people favorably like that. So it's a really good thank you, Bara, for bringing that story up. Yes, Hannah.
I did Talmud Devorah a couple of years ago with Rabbi Breidowitz. It was a very long year. I did it on, Torah Anytime. And he called it the double emulation. We imitate Hashem, so Hashem's doing that, and Hashem imitates us back to bring back the bracha to us.
Exactly. It goes from here, us up, and then Hashem, and we sort of pull it down. We pull, because we do it, then Hashem looks down and says, my children are doing it, I'm gonna give it to them. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that anyone who's here now or anyone who watches this knows that they have to join the Doula Collective crew on WhatsApp, because we're not sharing so much anymore on each separate chat. We can, but really we want to include everyone. So please join the Doula Collective crew on the International End of Life Doula Forum. Okay, so the group is called International End of Life Forum, but if you want to have a conversation with anyone who's included there, you would have to join the Doula Collective crew. And please,
why does it start? Sorry, honey. Why does it start with cohort 2?
Because not everyone from cohort 1 wanted to be on it, so I did it individually. So I included you and most of the people on that cohort, and the ones who didn't want to be in it, I just left them out.
I see.
So instead of just joining the whole group as one, I did it piecemeal, and I just included every person separately. But you're there.
Okay. I'm receiving. Yeah, thanks.
Javi, there's some kind of an echo. Thanks, Jav. Okay, so yes, I did want to say that I opened up applications for the next cohort. So there's 2 women's cohorts and 1 men's cohort. If I end up having enough men who apply, applications are open. And maybe a friend who would want to. I always have this imposter syndrome that I'm never going to fill the cohort. Baruch Hashem. So far, it's been 1 cohort the first year, and 2 cohorts the second year, and 3 cohorts the third year. So I'm hoping I will be able to fill these, but I'm always nervous about it. So if you know someone, just let them know they should apply. It's not making a commitment until after I interview them, and then they could either say yes or no. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Anyone coming to the conference next week?
Yeah.
Barbara's coming.
Great, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm gonna take pictures for you and send it. Okay.
Bonnie, are they gonna tape some of the stuff that we could listen to it afterwards?
I doubt it. I
Mm-hmm.
doubt it. It's prohibitively expensive to have a crew coming to video the sessions. I don't know. I don't think so. I know even the NMAC conference did not have it, anyone videoing them. I think also maybe it's much more comfortable for people to say things that they don't want out there. Like there was a lot of talk at the MNEC conference of mental health issues, of shidduchim with medical people who had medical issues, and so addiction. Like I think
Yeah.
maybe it made people more comfortable to say what they needed to say. Um, I I I would love to see some of you. I'm happy Barbara's coming, and I know there are like 4 or 5 doulas coming as well. So I'm going to take a doula picture for all of you, and I will post it on the new community chat. And I love this. I thought it was great. I'm always surprised after everyone begs for it that 6 people come, but it makes it much more intimate, and it makes it much more I think everyone gets to say something, which is always great. I miss you all. I really, really do. I miss the classes, but I'm hoping we'll be in touch because of this new community, this international community. I'm planning to do Zooms every other month, and it'll be on. I'll have a rabbi speak, or we'll do all the things that I brought up on the last Zoom. I will try to arrange for every other month. I don't think I can do it every month because Baruch Hashem, my life is full, but I am going to try to do it every other month and bring you continuing education on Zoom. Okay?
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so much.
coming.
Thank
Take
Thanks a
care.
you. Thank
lot.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
I think another book that we could talk about would be good too.
Okay, you got it.
Sounds good.
Could you run it, Hannah? Could you run it?
Not so smart like you.
No, come on. I need someone. Javi, hi. Javi came now. What are we gonna do?
Hi. I don't know if you heard me before. I said, I'm sorry I couldn't come earlier. I was stuck at a doctor's appointment with someone.
No, that's fine.
I have a good excuse. I didn't even bring along my book. I was going to take it wherever I went today. So no matter where I went, I could just come and hop on, and then it didn't happen. So
Javi was one of the people who dragged me to the NMAC conference, and she was there, and it was so much fun to spend time with her. And she actually spoke, and I have a picture of her speaking, and I'm going to post that.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know.
I didn't
It was
take
a
the
really good
picture.
book.
There was a photographer there.
I know. I forgot to. I started looking through the pictures, and then
You're there. I bought it. You don't have to buy it. I bought it.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so send it to me. That's
I
so
will. I'll
cute.
share it. Nice seeing you all.
Likewise. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.